Welcome to the TheGeeksAttic. This is an expanded universe book review of Star Wars Death Troopers. Star Wars Death Troopers was written by New York Times best-selling author Joe Schreiber. Now this is the 41st event on the expanded universe novel timeline. It takes place in the Rise of the Empire era and takes place just 1 year before the events of Star Wars A New Hope. Now let's jump into a brief summary. An Imperial prison barge known as the Purge is en route to a detention moon but loses engine power. Unlucky for them, they are right next to the Imperial Star Destroyer, Vector. The Star Destroyer's tractor beam keeps a tight grip on the prison barge, and the crew of the Purge have trouble contacting anyone aboard the destroyer. After running a bioscan, they discover only a handful of survivors are on the ship. A team from the prison barge sets out to investigate the Star Destroyer in hopes to find parts for their blown engines, but return with a hacking cough instead that escalates rapidly into much worse symptoms. That is, until death consumes them, and then they reawaken. That's right, we've got zombies in space. Only a handful seem to be immune to this spreading sickness. In this haunting tale of zombies in space, we follow a few inmates, 2 young brothers and their father. They fight for survival among other inmates, and that's right, space zombies. Now let's talk about characters. There were a few characters to talk about in this novel. One surprise cameo character. Well, it's actually more than a cameo, but I'm not going to say much. I'm not going to spoil any of that. So let's talk about a few characters. Up first is Zara Cody. She's the doctor aboard the Purge, which is the prison barge. She's fed up with her job and is ready to end her service to the Empire. She's strong-willed and determined. I'd say, most importantly, she's trustworthy and intelligent. If I found myself in a space horror, I'd want her on my team. Up next is Trig Longo. He's just a boy, an inmate along with his brother and father. This kid actually isn't annoying. Usually when there's a kid in the book, you're kind of like, oh, great, a kid. But this one, he's smart and he listens. He doesn't whine or argue. He's frustrated, but he's curious, which makes sense. He's a kid, and they like to learn things the hard way. And now for my overall thoughts. I absolutely love this book. It's a terrifying horror story, and it's Star Wars. The book was surprisingly extremely gruesome and gory. It's like the show Walking Dead meets Star Wars. A haunting read, for sure. The characters were all written so very well. The surprise character was spot on. The best part was that I didn't even see it coming when this character was revealed. Joe Schreiber told a great story with a creepy backdrop. Everything was set up really well. Descriptions were detailed. The words became a bloody, painted picture in my brain. Death Troopers is also the first Star Wars book that I read. I hated reading before I found this book, and now here I am with all the Star Wars books, reviewing them on YouTube. So if you're hesitant about picking up this book because it's a horror novel based in Star Wars, pick it up, read it, I think you'll love it. So do I recommend that you pick up and read Star Wars Death Troopers? Well, I pretty much just now told you to, so yes, the answer is yes, I sure do, especially around Halloween. Now, for the rating, I will give this book a B+. While it was an extremely awesome book, it's a horror, and what horror doesn't have a little cheese? Well, that's going to do it for this Star Wars Expanded Universe book review of Star Wars Death Troopers. Now, if you'd like to purchase this title, I've provided a link down in the description box below, so go pick up this book if you don't have it. Check me out at TheGeeksAttic.com and find me around all social media at TheGeeksAttic. Have a good one.